welcome to my YouTube channel. I know it's expected of me to have done like an introductory video and all that, but I just thought to start adding value to you from day one. So this is Moments with D, where we'll be discussing everything fun, my lifestyle in the UK, relocation, migration, and everything fun in general. So if this sounds like something you're going to be interested in, ensure you subscribe to my channel, click on the post notification bell as well, like, share with your friends, and ensure that you get notified every time I post a video. So today's video is about renting an accommodation here in the UK. Currently, even the postgraduate work visa, there's been a lot of pressure on the real estate market here in UK, and I just thought to put out tips on how to get you started settling down, getting your accommodation as a family, as a student, as a nurse. You're just coming into the UK and just need settling down. So let's get right into the video. Okay, so this is not to create panic or to put pressure on us. It's just to ensure that you have the right tips and the right tools required to get your accommodation sorted in time. I'll start with the students. If you're a student and you're coming into the UK, your jackpot has clicked. As a single student, first things first, try to ensure you get accommodation with this. Reason why I say school is, so with the school, you're sorted in time, and you have a place to arrive in, so it kind of takes pressure off you needing this video. Yeah, so if you're a student, first things first, just reach out to the school about accommodation. How do you go about your accommodation? If there's a hostel accommodation, please hurry up and get it. Then if you are also a couple, probably the wife is coming to study and she's coming along with her husband or something. If you don't have kids yet, you can also reach out to the school. If it's a school that has couples accommodation, they would provide that to you as well, and it just helps you with settling in. So once you are settled, even if it's after 3 or 6 months, you can then decide to move out of the school hostel, but at least you have you're settled in time. When you're coming from wherever it is you're coming from, that you already have a place to call home, pending when you now look for your apartment. If you're equally a student, but probably you didn't reach out to the school on time, or cars came late, visa came late, you were just delayed one way or the other, and school hostel is already filled at the time, then you can equally use studenttenant.com, student.com, amberstudent.com. I'll put on the screen, and then I'll also put it in the description box below. You can just check this website. They have student accommodations that are quite affordable depending on what your preference, basically. So they are also bills inclusive. I'll be talking about what bills inclusive is like in this video. So you can use this website to check for students accommodation. They are often studio apartments actually, so at least you get settled in time. Oftentimes though, they actually always prefer that whoever is renting is a student. So the instance I raised earlier, if you're a couple and it's just one, maybe it's just the husband or the wife that is actually studying, might not be fit for this student accommodations that I just mentioned, but regardless, reach out to them and mention that they have a partner or a significant other, and then if the accommodation will allow, you'll get that in these sites that I've mentioned. Now let's get to the crux of the matter. If you're a student, probably you have a family, or you just don't want any studio apartment, you want a decent accommodation for yourself, you want probably a bed flat or a studio outside of school or schooling environment, or you just want your own place, or you're not able to get any of this accommodation that I earlier mentioned. Because one thing I equally observed is September seemed to be now, for a lack of a better word, major session in this country. So what you will mostly observe is even some school hostels are very, very minimal at the time. Even these sites that I listed for students, they also oftentimes have students that are staying September to September. They are not available for maybe January intake, March intake, May intake, and the likes. So if you are not in September, where you might oftentimes get lots of accommodation open to you, you might also want to look into getting an accommodation outside of school. Now this is the shocker. Back home, if you want an accommodation, just probably reach out to friends and family. Oh, I'm looking for an accommodation around this area, or just drive around the area. You see to let on the gates or on the doorsteps or something, and you can walk into the compound, ask, okay, I want to rent this apartment, probably speak to one or two tenants, and they like, if the apartment is open, you can look around or look through the window or something to get your accommodation, and they like, then from there you just reach out to the landlord. I want the accommodation, bam, you make payments and you're done. But here, no, that is not what it's like. So there's actually a process to it. Now oftentimes you visit their website or the should I say real estate online platforms, which I'll be listing soon. Then when you do that, you request for viewing, and then they will schedule the appointment. So it's just like they request for viewings, and they will garner a lot of people that also want to view the apartment, and schedule a time, and they will tell you to come for viewing. So after you view the apartment, then they will now send you pre-tenant application form. You fill that, then they collect it. Everyone that qualifies to get the property, then they collect it and then send it to the landlord, and then the landlord will now go ahead to shortlist or pick whoever he or she feels is best fit for the accommodation. Yes, that is the process, and it takes a while. So it's not something that, okay, once I just view, click on viewing today, I check tomorrow, I get the next day, and like it takes a while. It's like, yeah, you're applying for a job. So like you have to be ready, you have to know this, which is why I'm doing this video. Let's start with the websites to visit when you're trying to get an accommodation, outside of school or outside of the student site I listed earlier. So you can check on the market, you can check open rents, you can check Zoopla, you can check prime location, you can check Gum3, you can check you can check Facebook Marketplace. I laughed because it is very sensitive. So Facebook Marketplace, asterisk. I'll explain why I am actually emphasizing this, but you can actually check this website. I will list them on the screen as well and put them in the description below. I would highly recommend On The Market and Zoopla. This is not a sponsored ad or anything, but the picture quality is quite good and the response time is actually fast as well. Unlike open rent where you have to chat the landlord, so you can't make calls or something, so you have to chat, and at times the landlord can take forever to respond. By the time the landlord is even responding, probably the apartment is already off the market. And another reason why I recommend these two, that's On The Market and Zoopla, is also because oftentimes the accommodation you now see on Gumtree and all the other platforms are actually listed on On The Market and Zoopla, so they kind of like have them faster or quicker, and it's easier to use, and it's more concentrated than the other platform. But still, you can just try all of them. When you're looking for something, you have to go all out. But one thing I would recommend is when you go to On The Market or Zoopla or the like, try to note the agents so the accommodation that you like or something. Try to note the agent's name or the agent company. Google them and sign up on their mailing list. So this way, because oftentimes the agencies or the estate agents will put this accommodation on their own website first before it gets to this other On The Market or the likes, and by the time it's getting there, maybe when they put it on their own website, they've already gotten like 10 people that say they want to view. When you're now calling On The Market, they'll just tell you your viewing is already full, and you wonder like, but they just posted this thing, no, why now? So this is just to ensure that you are like one of the very first set of people that get notified. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't use all these other platforms, but as I'm just saying, like, so that you get prompt notification as well. If you're on their mailing list, you're getting like the first hand as the hot kind of information on the apartment. I don't know if it makes sense to you. When you get on all these sites, one thing you have to have decided on before you're even looking for the accommodation in the first place is what is your budget. So you have to understand how much are you actually really looking to put into this accommodation thing. Is it £500? Is it £700? You just have to decide that. Then two, is your budget, is it bills inclusive or not? So what do I mean by bills inclusive? There are some accommodation that actually the energy bill, the water, the electricity, eating, Wi-Fi and all, they are included in your rental payments. So which is what most of the students in the school hostel or in this student accommodation that I listed previously, which is what they will enjoy. So if you are seeing like £780 as your rent as a student in hostel or in those student accommodation, oftentimes they will put it as bill inclusive. But outside this student thing, mostly you will not get bills inclusive if it's not a shared accommodation. So you will most likely not get bills inclusive. So if you are not getting a bills inclusive, you have to know that, okay, so if I'm saying my rent or my budget is 700, that means I have to look for maybe an accommodation like 500 or 550, so that by the time I add bills of like 100 or 150, you know, it is accumulating to that 700 that is actually my budget. Another thing that this sites will also help you do is will help you filter. So you can go to the top right corner of most of them, or you just hit on the top once you log into their website, and you see filter. So you can put in your maximum price, you know, your if you want it bills inclusive as well. One thing about the type of apartment that you also have in UK is you can have your apartment furnished, you can have it part furnished, you can have it unfurnished, you can have then shared accommodation. So let me just quickly run us through. For shared accommodation, yeah, it's more like, okay, maybe they're in a 4-bedroom flat or a 4-bedroom duplex, so the landlord can let out the rooms, and then you share common spaces. You share the lounge, which is what we call sitting room back home. You share that, you share kitchen, then you share the restroom and the bathroom. So some shared apartments maybe have some ensuite rooms. That's just what a shared accommodation is about. Then furnished apartments. So furnished apartment is what we call service apartment back in Nigeria. You know now. Mostly you're just coming in with your luggage. So everything, the sofa, the bedding, the bed, the furnishing is done. Fine, it might not be to your own taste, but furnishing is done basically. So you see that in the pictures as well. So you can actually decide on, okay, if you like the furnishing and all. So that's what a furnished apartment is. A part furnished apartment is more like the furnishing is at the discretion of the landlord. So the landlord can decide to put maybe a bed frame and maybe just one sofa or one chair or something. So that one is actually always less furnished than a furnished apartment, because that's just what the landlord thinks should be there, like basically. So it's just very basic stuff. Like you might still need to get some things, do you get, in a part furnished apartment, but in an unfurnished apartment there is no furnishing. So now I'm using the word furnishing because back home, when you go and rent an apartment and it's unfurnished, like you can echo in the room and and you know you hear your echo. Like is nothing, not a single thing is there. But oftentimes here, you still have white goods in an unfurnished apartment. So white goods being gassing, the eating, fridge, freezer, and washing machine. Oftentimes, I know I've seen one or two that don't have maybe fridge, freezer, they have just gas and all, but most of the time you will see all these things there, but they won't be sofa, they won't be bedding, they won't be, so you still basically just have to do the furnishing. So that is what an unfurnished apartment looks like. So when you're actually filtering on this website that I listed prior to now, you would actually can filter that you want, okay, maybe a furnished apartment, an unfurnished apartment, number of bedrooms that you want, and or budget and the like. Another thing I just thought to put out there as well is, oftentimes, unlike back home, that when you want a 1-bedroom, the pricing would differ significantly from someone that wants a 2-bedroom. Now it doesn't really play out that way here. Now don't get me wrong, not like, okay, when you want a 3-bedroom you will still get a 3 for like £495. No, but what I'm saying is, so maybe if you're getting an apartment in the city center, for instance, you can get maybe a 1-bedroom at 720. You can still get a 1-bedroom at 720, even though it is not in the city center. You can see a 2-bedroom for like £525, and you can still see another a 1-bedroom maybe somewhere else, not even city center, both of them are in the city center, at 700. It doesn't significantly like play out that way when you're looking for accommodation, because there are other factors that are being considered, like the EPC rating, that's the energy rating. I'll discuss that in another video entirely. Ease of transportation, or the furnishing as well. So maybe a furnished apartment now somewhere else can be like 550, and you can see another furnished apartment for like 700 or something, even though it's within the same area, probably because of the quality of the furnishing. Or even it can be unfurnished and you see a furnished apartment for like 550, and you see an unfurnished apartment for like 750, and you're wondering, is unfurnished now, but maybe the quality of the tiling, of the glazing of the door, the windows, and you know, just the quality of things really determine. So I just want to put it out there that, so at times you might just, let me just look for a 1-bedroom, I don't have plenty money. It doesn't really matter. Okay, when you filter on this site and you see the apartment that you like, going through the pictures, it look like something you're interested in, you will see an option to either call or email the agent, and that's where you go ahead to book the viewing. Some agency actually just try to, maybe give you a pre-tenancy form, or they ask questions. So this is where the challenge is for new immigrants, especially students, because now the things or the requirements for getting this accommodation is quite much. Oftentimes when you look through this site, I would advise that you go through the description. Now, in this description, that's where you will see the details of the accommodation. Don't get carried away with pictures, because at times, maybe for marketing purposes, they put out the picture of an unfurnished apartment and they just put in chairs and settings and everything and the bedroom, just so that you can maybe see how to set it up. It might actually be unfurnished. Not until you read the description and see unfurnished apartment, so you can see the apartment. Hey, this pound city center, hey, furnished to taste. Wow, see the person, and you are hurrying to call them. You didn't read through the description to see that it is unfurnished, my dear. So it's in this description that you will see the details of the accommodation. You will see what the EPC, the energy rating is. You will see like a map or a map just showing brief stores or schools or something, that things are actually around the area. So if you are like maybe a family person, you can see the schools that are close to you. You can see the grocery shops as well. So it just tells you, at times can just put maybe a brief description of it's close to Queen Park, or it's close to this bus station or something. So it kind of gives you further understanding of the apartment before you go ahead to even call them. Then another major thing that you find in the description is their preferences. Please don't joke with this thing. Hey, don't joke. In fact, I'll come and give you full gist later. Sha, don't joke with it. That's my one pence. When they tell you that they don't want a smoker, they don't want smoker. When they tell you, oh, they don't want pets, no pets. If they tell you no couple allowed, there's nothing you want to say, no couple. This thing is actually because oftentimes the houses have insurances, and maybe the insurance the landlord is paying for is only maybe covering just 2 people, and then you are now a family and have a child. So they'll tell you they don't want children, just so that they won't have to pay higher insurance bill or something. So basically, if the preference is no student allowed, no student allowed. If they tell you working professionals only, some even tell you students are open to inquire, you just inquire and waste your time. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't inquire when you see students are open to inquiring, but I'm just saying like you have to maybe do more of that. But looking through your description actually just help you to understand, so you're not even wasting your time calling a property that they already told you student cannot inquire. And don't fall for it. Some will write it on it, student property, and still they will tell you that only professionals should inquire. So don't go and think that because I saw student property up now, so student can inquire. No. And when they even tell you student can inquire, they will now tell students, bring 3-month bank statements, bring 3 months pay slip. They want to run a credit check. Now you can't run a credit check on someone that has not been in the UK for 6 months or more. So as a student that is just relocating, how do I get a credit check? Some landlords are quite reasonable. They will tell you, if you can't provide all this, provide a guarantor that has been in UK for more than 6 months and has a good job, and they can run all those checks. Now, even your guarantor, I'm sure most guarantors should know, but when you're reaching out to your guarantor, try to let them know what they're getting themselves into, because they'll call their employers, they'll call their line managers, they'll reconfirm the amount on the pay slip that this is actually the true amount that person is actually earning. So they will do like detailed check on your guarantor, so your guarantor is not going scot-free. So the ones that allow students to inquire will allow for a guarantor. Then another thing is, if you can retain your job back home just till you land, it helps, because then you are a working professional and you can say, I am a working professional, I'm working remotely, or I'm working out of state or something, and they can still reach out to your employer and they know that it's true that you're a working professional. So if there's a way that maybe you can just take your 1 month leave pending your arrival, so that at least when you're getting your job, you are at least at the time a working professional. So that is another thing that I know that will help with your house search. But when you look at those preferences and you feel you're a good match for the preferences, you have everything that is required, you can reach out to them via email, you can call them. The numbers will be there, the email address will probably be there as well. Then you can just put your own preferred viewing time there, and maybe a short message so they can reach out to you as soon as possible. Some will send you a pre-application form as well, just to get all these details. But if you call them, oftentimes they just ask for those things over the phone, and then they note it down, and then they can book you for viewing. Now you've done all this, you've gotten your viewing. Please, when you are going for the viewing, let's try to not be carried away. So I get, okay, yeah, you've been looking for an apartment for a while, and you finally got booked for a viewing and all, and you got there, oh, it's nice, it's furnished, it's this, that. Like, let's pay attention to the details. We are not here to admire the view, we are here to actually view and be sure that what you're seeing is what you want to get. So pay attention to the T's, like, okay, there's a broken wall, or there is something not properly done, or something, you know, ask questions. Okay, this thing, will it be fixed? You know, like, ensure that you're like you really engage whoever is there, you know, that is attending to you at the time. Just ensure that you look around, you pay attention to the apartment, you know, the storage and everything. And when you are done even viewing the apartment itself, ensure that you still take a walk around. Don't be in a haste to go home. Go around, try to find the train station, you know, try to see the distance from the bus stop, try to see the grocery shops that are around, just to ensure that, you know, living there is not tedious for you, especially given that you are just still trying to get your way around, so that you are not having to, like, every time be on your map and trying to, hey, where is this bus today, and you're missing your appointment or missing classes and all. So try to just look around, you know, check the broadband, that's the Wi-Fi that actually works very well in that place. Just go around. You can even ask the person that is attending to you while viewing yourself, okay, what's the estimate for the bills here? Just do your own checks too as well, so that you're not having to take bus to go and buy groceries and come back, or you just want to take a walk and you can't, or maybe the crime rate in the area is quite high. Okay, is it good for children? Is it good for raising kids? Can I stay here maybe long term? Is it close to the things I frequent and all? So all these things will help you in making a decision if you actually want that apartment. After the viewing, they will send you the application form if you notify them that you're interested, and then you fill everything. If you're providing a guarantor as well, they will send the guarantor's copy as well, so they'll fill all this information, and then they have to send it back to them. Then all of them, all the applications are collated and sent to the landlord, who finally makes the decision. Now, don't, because you fill the application or something, still does not guarantee that you will get chosen, not until you make your deposit. Okay, so another thing I missed out in the description is the holding deposit. There's something called the holding deposit. You will see deposit still in the description. You just put it there, deposit is so and so amount. Deposit can range from whatever the amount the landlord decides, to a maximum of 2 months rent. 2 months rent for the apartment. So if the apartment is like 700, a deposit can be as high as £1,400. So you just have to, like, pay attention to that as well, because if you're getting an apartment for, like, say £700, you have to pay like £1,400. And note, this deposit is not going to accumulate any interest, but they are supposed to put it in a safe deposit box or company for you. And after your tenancy has expired and the landlord has gone back to the apartment, and the apartment is in a good state, nothing is damaged, nothing is bad, nothing is wrong, then you get your money back. So oftentimes, according to the law, the landlord is supposed to give you the certificate of that deposit within a week of your moving in. So now you see another reason why you have to pay attention when you go for viewing, so that if the door is already bad, you did not see anything, you were admiring, hey, Lelo fine by UK, you did not pay attention to that. You move in, when you're not going out, landlord will not tell you, see, the door knob is bad. That's how it has been since. When I gave you and you signed the agreement, you did not say doorknob is bad, so they will deduct that from your deposit, and you don't want that. Then also you have to consider this deposit as well, because it can be heavy on your pocket. I advise that we should go from accommodation that deposit is actually quite less, because if you are getting a £700 apartment, you're paying 1,400 as deposit alone, minus bills and everything. Well, maybe you have the money, sharp, but I'm just saying, so consider deposit as well in your pursuit for getting an accommodation. So not until you actually pay the deposit or the landlord asks you to proceed, you've not seen out. So oftentimes you have to, like, just apply for as many as possible. Then when you send in your application, they ask the landlord's prerogative to pick whoever they want to go with. Back home in Nigeria, is whoever is quickest with the money, but this one, they have preferences. Like, I and my husband have been turned down from getting an accommodation because they said that they prefer someone that had a dog, and we don't have a dog. It shocked me too. so and this was, you know, we've already sent in the application, like we were sure, like oh yeah, we got it. Only for just got a mail that someone else came and the person had a dog. And that's just it. So it's still at the landlord's pay. Even though you have everything and you're willing to pay, like as they was pay, let me pay now. They will still decide who they want to give the accommodation to or not. So not until you made your security deposit, never see else. Another thing that you should also look out for in the description when you're looking on all the sites is the availability dates. So at times you will see available maybe March 20th. Don't think they just put down one there. No, they know the reason. Probably the tenancy or for the previous tenant is expiring like maybe the 1st of March or something, and then before they put the things in place and sort okay viewings and all, that's why they put 19th of March. So be sure that the availability date is also works with your own time. Probably you're in a hotel, you're in a Airbnb, you're scouting with a friend or something, you know, and they say it's going to be ready in like let's say a month. Do you have that time? So you also put that in consideration when you're checking your apartment or checking your accommodation or looking out for your accommodation. But once you're able to meet the requirement, they did the credit check, you know, they've checked your guarantor and they validated or verified those things, they will ask you to proceed with your deposits, and voila, you don't get the accommodation. God, you So I hope this video helps. I hope it doesn't put you under pressure to, it's actually difficult, it's tasking to get, like it's actually, you have to like be on your system 247, set alerts on the market, on they will be sending you alert like every now and then and all that. But at least you know what is required of you, you know how to go about it. And lastly, I said I was going to mention why I said Facebook Marketplace, asterisk. Please and please. I know people have gotten accommodations from Facebook Marketplace, but please, we need to be extra careful about using Facebook Marketplace because 99.99999% of them are scammers. And you just have to be careful, be on the lookout, you know, like when it is too good to be true, it is actually too good to be true. So let's be very, very careful. Let's not be in a hurry. Let's try to pay attention to red flags. Okay, you have this video as a guide, you see what the procedure is meant to be like. When someone is now already telling you, oh, bring deposit before you view, we get it after a week of staying in my apartment, when it is not jiving, don't worry, I'll do a different video about, you know, how to recognize scam, and I will read, like I have about 20 scammers emails and conversations, you know, with these scammers on Facebook Marketplace. When I was given for us, no, but so that you know you're adding money they're trying to use to settle down. Somebody somewhere is not just typing and then you know using computer to scam you. So I'll do a different video about that. But for Facebook Marketplace, let's be very, very careful when using Facebook Marketplace. Please be extra careful. Don't just jump the gun and just, oh man, the apartment is right, because yes, trust me, it's going to be nice. Like it's going to be very, very nice. They'll be calling, in fact, areas that you've scouted, you've checked around those areas and you've seen what the prices are like there. They cannot be telling you that come and take it for cheaper. Let me use back home now in Nigeria. You're looking for a house, somebody is not telling you that in VI they want to give you a 2-bedroom flat for like 500k. Like you said, you know, even big you said 500k. So something like that. So they make it very juicy. They start telling you it's not about the money. Maybe they recently relocated. Please be careful with Facebook Marketplace when you're trying to get an accommodation there. Be extra careful. Look out. You know, try to speak to people as well. I know we always feel like and maybe my friend just left 2 weeks ago. He can't know much or she can't know much. Don't feel like that. Someone that left a day before you into this land, the person at least has experienced one thing that you haven't. A closed mouth is a closed destiny. Don't keep quiet and speak up, you know, in case you're about to fall into the wrong and at least someone can just jack you back to life, and at least you can be sure that don't fall on hand now. Imagine say you come this week, somebody now come and scam you. Nigeria will collect your passport from you. Nigeria like you they come from Nigeria, they can't scam you for year. So be careful out there, and I know that we are going to share our testimonies You have your own experiences you want to share about house hunting in the UK or anywhere else. You recently relocated, you want to share your experience about house hunting, you know, your experience probably with these scammers or this Facebook marketplace thing, or you know, you enjoyed the video and you just want to share some personal experiences, or you still have questions that you want me to help you out with, please, I am in the comment section to ensure that we have a seamless journey renting an apartment in UK. I hope this video helps. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Till next time on Moments with D, my name is Adiola. Thanks for watching. Bye.